Fulfilling Your Days by Bishop Oyedepo Chapter 2. Our Covenant Examples. Thus saith the Lord, stand yet in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. Jeremiah 6 verse 16. Long life is God's perfect plan for us. This is proved by our covenant fathers in the Old Testament, who lived for very many years on the earth. We, therefore, have examples to follow. Abraham. God told Abraham, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. Genesis 15 verse 15. God fulfilled that promise, by causing him to live for 175 years. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life which he lived, 160 years. Then Abraham gave up the ghost, and died in a good old age, an old man, and full of years, and was gathered to his people. Genesis 25 verses 7-8. Isaac. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac gave up the ghost, and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Genesis 35 verses 28-29. Isaac lived for 180 years. He was old and full of days. And the Bible says, now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise. Galatians 4 verse 28. So we are partakers of Isaac's blessings, promises and heritage. Jacob. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, so the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. Genesis 47 verse 28. That is 147 years. At the age of 130, he still rode on a chariot to Egypt from the land of Canaan, Genesis 47 verse 9. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is still alive. Therefore, I have no business rushing to heaven. In our days, like Simeon, we would tell the Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace. Joseph. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. Genesis 50 verse 26. Joseph lived for 110 years. Moses. And Moses was 120 years old when he died, his eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated. Deuteronomy 34 verse 7. Even at the age of 120, Moses' eyes were still very bright. His system was intact and all the cells in his body were alive, his natural force was not abated, neither was he worn out. Joshua. And it came to pass after these things, that Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. Joshua 24 verse 29. Joshua departed at 110 years, and we are the Joshua generation of the end time. All our covenant fathers lived very long on earth. They were kept by God, who said in his word, if ye can break my covenant of the day, and my covenant of the night, and that there should not be day and night in their season, then may also my covenant be broken with David my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites the priests, my ministers. Jeremiah 33 verses 20-21. God is a covenant-keeping God. If he could give the men of old long life as well as perfect health, then you too can live long and in perfect health. God has programmed long life for you. The enemy has no power to terminate it, so long as you do what you're expected to do. Surely, you have a goodly heritage. How to hook on? How then do we hook on to this covenant of long life? Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek the Lord, look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you, for I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. Isaiah 51 verses 1-2. In other words, God is saying, I am going to deal with Zion the way I dealt with Abraham. I want to bestow upon Zion the same blessing I bestowed upon Abraham. Let us see how Jesus connected us to the Abrahamic covenant in the New Testament. Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, Cursed is every one that hangeth on a tree. That the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Jesus Christ, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. Galatians 3 verses 13-14. Jesus died, among other things, to connect us to the Abrahamic covenant and blessings, one of which is the blessing of old age. Not just any kind of old age, but a good one. The Bible says Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed him in everything, Genesis 24 verse 1. That is, long life coupled with undeniable prosperity, an enviable, Satan-provoking prosperity. Abraham was not a liability to his children. The place where Isaac and Jacob were buried was built by Abraham. You are properly connected. When Jesus died, he did not only die to redeem your soul from death, he also died to connect you to the Abrahamic covenant heritage of long life and prosperity. Let us also see our connection to Isaac in Galatians 4 verse 28. Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise. Abraham lived for 170 years and Isaac, 180 years. No wonder Psalm 16 verse 6 says, The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places, yea, I have a goodly heritage. If you are born again, you have a goodly heritage. Christians don't die. Christians do not die, they only sleep. But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 13. Christians are not born to die. At the end of their days here on earth, Christians sleep. The departure of a Christian from the earth is supposed to be a thing of joy, such that his children and children's children will not be